Driving insane print-on-demand revenue is partially fueled by getting lucky with your designs ending up in the SEO and the algorithm in the right place, but so much of it is based off understanding the trends on what is going to be popular in the upcoming months and being able to incorporate that into your products. And so today I'm gonna be nerding out because Pinterest just launched their Pinterest Predicts for 2025 with all types of really juicy data about what they think will be popular in 2025. And so this is not scripted. I'm literally just gonna go through and highlight a couple different trends and give my POV to how you might be able to incorporate this into your shop and how this data can be used to list bestsellers in your own Etsy shop or Shopify store. Okay. I'm freaking out. This is already so scrumptious and it's literally the first one. I cannot tell you, I am running. After I finish this, I am running to incorporate this one into my print-on-demand shop. The first one is going to be cherry coated. And I get it. You're probably thinking, what the heck? They just came out and said that the color of 2025 is gonna be that weird like brown color. Cherry coated is actually more of what I think the vibe is, okay? 2024 was the year of like on Etsy, like coquette, however you wanna say it, like the little bows and the little feminine elements. I think that's gonna be cherry. So if you have bows in your shop, duplicate that bad boy, throw in some cherries. I am just obsessed with this color. I'm obsessed with this trend. If we look at their data that they've showcased here, they show that searches for cherry vibe, cherry martini are up 80 to 325%. Now we don't know the overall like search volume of this, but I can absolutely see that there could be a 1-to-1 ratio of the aesthetic of just turning from coquette over to cherries. So literally, that's my action item. I'm gonna be adding cherries to everything. And this one could work for like all types of different products. This could work for t-shirts, sweatshirts, literally anything that has trended well. Just adding that little design element of a cherry to it, I think could be a huge unlock. Okay, the next one that I'm absolutely gagging over right now is going to be Rococo Revival. And we've already started to see this kind of trend well on Etsy. And I think the coquette theme that I just mentioned was kind of maybe a prelude to this trend. I have been noticing all over social media, all over Pinterest, these like ornate cakes, and apparently that is part of this Rococo style that is about frills and being ultra feminine. And so I love this type of design aesthetic to also incorporate into your t-shirts and your hoodie designs, or potentially more like homewares. I mentioned a little bit about the baby tee and the baby tank, and I think these are ones that can be ultra feminine. If you added like a little one of those like cute stylistic cakes onto the front of this and offered it and gave it more of that like SEO for being girly, feminine, I think these are products that could perform really well with this vertical. And it's just really interesting to see that this is something that is trending really highly and is expected to pop off in 2025. The next one that I'm loving is going to be the Fisherman Aesthetic. When I think of like the Fisherman Aesthetic, I think of more of those like cable knit, chunky sweatshirts, which obviously is a little bit tricky with print on demand, but Printify did recently launch this Lane 7 embroidered kind of Nantucket crew neck sweater. So already Nantucket is giving that like East Coast, living your best kind of coastal life vibe. And so I think you can utilize some of these trends and these ideas to incorporate into products like that. I also just like the idea here of taking inspiration on what they're saying on sardine tattoos and stripes on everything. Those are two little simple design elements that even if you don't have like a fishing store, you could incorporate into your 2025 designs. And you can see some of that kind of flow through. I think about images and products like this. Tinned fish, for whatever reason, has become really popular. There's like a new company that launched in the last couple of years. They were on Shark Tank. So eating tinned fish is really popular. So that aesthetic of kind of being like vintage and old timey, I think could perform well, especially if you had these cute, just like little graphic tees and hoodies in that maritime type of style. Moving into Rebel floats. And I love this one, okay? This is something that I think is so random. I'm like confused, but then when I read it, I'm like, okay, I'm here with you. So the reason they're calling this a trend is that there is this like sweet taste of nostalgia. And so we're gonna give old school soda pop a radical makeover. And they have different things here in terms of search terms that are cream soda aesthetic, root beer aesthetic. I don't really know what that means, but if we can figure out ways to incorporate that, I mean, there was this huge wave on Etsy and just like overall companies of like Abercrombie and all these big brands that were literally just taking like the espresso martini aesthetic and making millions of dollars by just having like an embroidered or a printed espresso martini and like a little one-liner that talks about espresso martinis. I think that is a similar type of application that we can apply to here. Find some really cool graphics, design some cool graphics on Kittle or something about like really off the wall sodas and different elements like that. We see like on TikTok, people are like already kind of coming out with their own like soda recipes, like the dirty Dr. Pepper. So I do foresee this being something that could potentially trend well, and I'm understanding how it can get there. I'm wondering if too, like last year, like a year and a half ago, there was this like really big trend for pickles. And so I'm wondering if like the fancy soda is the pickle of 2025. TBD, I suppose. And the moment it left my mouth is the moment that I saw Pickle Fix as also a trend for 2025. So no, the pickle is still here to stay. Even this image is something that could be so funny and like recreated on a t-shirt that I think the girls would just like absolutely go crazy for. So the pickle is still back. What I thought was interesting about this is that the pickle margarita is up 100%. That's crazy to me. So new trend idea, new shop idea, literally just a beverage related niche shop. So you do everything from espresso martinis to pickle margaritas to fancy soda pops. They're meant for the girls. They're these cute little graphic tees, everything available. You can cross niche that with funny mom sayings, all types of different type of elements that I think honestly has legs to trend well in 2025. Peak travel is probably one of the most applicable niches that I think would perform really well, thinking about how topical it is and that it fills the need. A lot of what we're talking about today with like this trend is just like what types of design styles would work. I would have never expected that the coquet theme of like cute little frilly bows just printed would perform really well, but it absolutely took the world by storm of this like ultra feminine type of style, which is why I think it's valuable to mention all these different design elements, because it really can take a single design in your shop to blow up your Etsy shop. It is the 10% of the designs that do 80% of your revenue. And while it might be kind of hard to understand how these fit in, I think it's valuable, and I'm curious if we look back if these actually come to fruition. But peak travel is one that actually fits a specific need. And I actually mentioned this in my video before on how you can utilize the ski and snowboard seasonality of Q1 to be a really big niche driver in the early 2025 year. And this data, I actually didn't even have it for that video, but like, hey, this confirms it. It talks about how cities have totally peaked, and in 2025, mountain ranges will become the go-to travel destination. So this is really fun data to kind of look at because it gives you specific search terms. Atlas Mountains, Morocco, the Dolomites, Portillo, Chile, like all types of really cool locations that I previously wouldn't have even thought about, that you could spin these off into different hoodies, t-shirts, even art for your home, tea towels, all types of different things that could fit these niches of people like having interest in traveling to these places. When they get back, they're gonna want to remember that. Obviously, they might be able to buy souvenirs while they're there, but they might also see something that they weren't able to get while they were there and want to showcase that to have in their closet or to have around their home. And so very, very fun trend. Also skiing fits. So I mentioned that skiing could be a huge one. We've just seen like the interest in skiing go up exponentially following COVID. So really, really excited about this one. If this is something that you're gonna be dabbling into, please drop it in the comments. Next up, also so applicable by seeing it, and it's not necessarily like a crazy new trend, but it's shocking to me that there's been so much growth in it. The trend is going to be called seeing double, which means that people are wanting to match each other, which again, I don't think is an off the wall idea, but when we look at some of the search data, it's very intriguing. So this is things that we are seeing trend well for not only like couples, but also besties. And so I think that is really, really fun. And we've seen this in different niches already when it comes to like bachelorette parties, girls' nights, girls' trips, family trips. So people are wanting to match each other to show this like bond and we're all in this together type of thing. But I think this is something that gives us a hint that we can apply to other niches as well, because it's going beyond just a event or a trip. People are searching for matching jersey couples 80% more. They're also searching for coordinating outfits for friends and matching outfits for couples casual. 60 to 90% increase in these terms, which means that, again, if you have a bestseller and it is positioned towards male or female, could be an opportunity to try to position this as like a matching set. So a really good kind of basket builder where you can duplicate the listing and showcase two different mock-ups and maybe have them side by side in one image to show the male version and the female version in case folks want to be shopping for these things as like a matching pair. Obviously, Pinterest works as a search engine and can get you a lot of free traffic. So if we're already seeing these search terms perform well in terms of matching outfits for couples casual, if you utilize that search term in your Pinterest SEO and had that image linked to your Etsy shop, that potentially could be free traffic knowing that it's already trending. So I'm loving this one, and I think it's very applicable, again, to utilize any of the textiles of t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, all types of crew necks, all types of clothing products that you can find on Printify today to add that spin of a male-female version or do a girl-girl like besties matching set. They also on Printify have things like baseball jerseys that you could kind of coordinate and pair together. So again, endless opportunities here, and one that I'm very excited about also incorporating into my shop. And the last one that I'm going to mention is just one that I love. It's nesting parties, which is something that I have not had any close friends do. But again, when we look at the data, it makes a lot of sense. Basically, the sentiment is that baby showers are a really great way to show your family that you love them. But a nesting party is a really great way to actually help the parents prep for the baby postpartum and get their space where it needs to be. So gifts are not always going to be the priority of the nesting party. You can do a digital product like an invite that announces it as a nesting party and positions it that way as opposed to a baby shower. Or you can also offer print-on-demand products like a wall tapestry that is something that could be decoration for the party, or could be something that you would bring to a nesting party to help them nest for their home. A lot of nesting is like actually helping them get ready, so it could be a fun way to do a different type of offering that is positioned as a nesting party gift instead. Another good way to just understand this trend and apply it to your own shop is, let's say you do have baby shower gifts or baby shower types of products. Add nesting party as a tag to that listing to make sure that it is showing up for this use as well. I just think it's crazy to see 205% increase in nesting party and nesting party ideas. So really cool one that I will also be including into my shop. All right, I've nerded out enough. There are more in here. I will link this in the description below. Such good nuggets. Something that I encourage everybody to do is keep their eye on the trends. Even if you're not gonna be able to incorporate every single one, it's helpful so that way if you have an idea, you can write it down and be like, oh, this, I could incorporate that. If this is helpful whatsoever, please do a couple things, like and subscribe, but also drop in the comments which one you liked the best, and I'll catch you on the next one.